My name is Marcelo Soares, and I'm here to talk about the VMware Virtual Center Appliance. That is a product VMware released on the version 5.0 of vSphere. It have the version 5.0, 5.0 update 1, and 5.1. And now with the last release, that is the 5.1, have many enhancements and other features that I will try to explain here on the video. So the Virtual Appliance is a Linux virtual machine that VMware provides for customers that wants to have a virtual center without the need to have a Windows server and without the need to install all the software. Everything comes pre-installed. You just need to download the OVF, that's the Virtual Appliance file that you can find easily on the VMware website. You just need to download this file and then deploy this virtual appliance on your vSphere environment. So, of course, the first thing you need to have is an ESX server already installed so it can host this virtual machine. So, this technology has some limitations, like the virtual appliance with the embedded database that comes with the virtual appliance only supports 5 ESX servers connected to it and at most 15 VMs running on these hosts, okay, or one thing or the other. In the first version of vSphere Virtual Appliance, the vCenter Virtual Appliance, it only it worked with the DB2 database server that's from IBM, and in the 5.0 update 1, VMware changed the database server for vPostgres that is released from VMware of the already known database PostgreSQL. It's on the version 9.0, and now there is a major release for 9.1. It's a very good database server, and it works embedded inside that Linux that comes like a one great box with the database and Virtual Center, all the services that Virtual Center needs to work. So in the last release, the 5.1, it's already with the vPostgres database, and you can work with that, or you can point your Virtual Center's appliance to an external database server. This makes that more ESX servers and more virtual machines are supported to the limits of a normal Virtual Center that you install and use with any database server, SQL Server or Oracle. But the Virtual Center server appliance does not support SQL Server. Okay, so when do you may need the virtual appliance or not? When you have small environments, small deployments, and you don't need or you don't want to buy a Windows license only to host the Virtual Center server service, so you can use this simple solution from VMware. Okay, so how you install and configure for the first time the Virtual Center server appliance? The first thing you need to do is to download the OVF file and the disks and everything else from the VMware website. These have more or less, I think it's 2 gigs or 2.5 gigs of size, so you need to download this first. And after that, you connect to your ESX server and perform a virtual appliance deployment, which means you go to File, Deploy, and Virtual Appliance Deploy. Choose the file that you downloaded from the VMware website. Choose the name of the virtual machine and then deploy the machine. This takes some time depending on your network and depending also on your server, obviously. And after that, you have a virtual machine ready to run. So when you power on this virtual machine, you have a Linux running, and you have a screen where it says you can log into this Linux to perform any troubleshooting options or any troubleshooting procedure that you need, and you have an URL where you can access the configuration of the virtual appliance. This configuration is not the Virtual Center, it's just the configuration of the server. Okay, so entering on this URL provided by the Virtual Center appliance will show you all the configuration of services and everything related to network, or the new services from VMware. So the first thing you need to do is to configure the SSO server. The SSO server came with the full configuration, or you can point this Virtual Center to a pre-installed SSO server. So just for a little overview of the SSO server, it's an authentication server that you use to authenticate the users that log into the Virtual Center. Now you don't use the AD as default anymore for the Virtual Center authentication, and now you have this SSO server that this server can authenticate against an Active Directory, or against an IS, or against an LDAP server, or on the local users accounts on the SSO server where the SSO server is installed. So you can use many authentication sources for this service. It's a new service, it's available only on 5.1, and it's pretty useful. You can do a lot of things with that. So the first thing you need to configure that. You can leave all the configurations as default, and you have the SSO server working with a local authentication. Okay, before that, you already have your Virtual Center appliance working, and you can point your web browser to the web client URL, or you can use a vSphere client to connect directly to the Virtual Center and start working. Obviously, you don't have any user created or anything else. You need to use local authentication, but you will be able to use the Virtual Center with the root account of the Virtual Center Virtual Appliance. The default password for root is VMware. So to log in on the Virtual Center administration, and for the first logins on the Virtual Center, you need to use this authentication. Okay, so after you created the Virtual Appliance, you need to change the administrator password for the SSO. That's the most important thing you need to do at the first place, because this user does not have any password. So there is no default password. So the first thing you need to do, connect to the web client of the vSphere.1. It's a very brand new product from VMware, and it will replace the normal vSphere client that we know, and there is a lot of new features. It's very cool to use. So log into the web client with the root account that you specify when you install the Virtual Appliance. When you the default password is VMware, so you can log in with VMware, and then you can change on the administration. And logged in as the root account, you can go to administration, and then SSO user and groups, and then right click on the admin user and click on edit, and then you will be able to change the password for the admin. So keep this password. That password will, if you lose it, you will not be able to perform the administration of the SSO server. So keep it in a safe place, and you need that for troubleshooting issues or anything else. So after you configure that, you already have a valid SSO administrator user. You have the root user and password. If you want, you can configure the SSO to point to an Active Directory, LDAP or NIS, as I said, or you can use the local administration, the local users of that Linux machine where the Virtual Center appliance is installed. So you can start using Virtual Center, log into Virtual Center to create a new data center. You can add a host, just specifying the IP and all the information of the host, and you can start working with your Virtual Center without the need of any installation or extra software. Thank you very much.